Can you hear me okay, Tony? Sweet. I just wanted to get some video of this game being played since it's seemingly pretty rare. To my knowledge, no one's seen another playfield like it for big game, so yeah, historical records and whatnot. But I have to be what I believe to be the prototype for the plastic playfields that was designed for big game. Check out the Internet Pinball Database. There's a brief mention of it from an article like in 1981, I think. And no one really ever saw anything. So I think we all assumed it was probably the same playfield as the production big game, but in plastic, like Bally had done with some of their titles. People get discover them. I know for sure there's Harlem's, Playboys, Kisses. Several Bally games are done with a plastic playfield, and this is the only thing I know of where Stern had any mention of it, and no one had seen it. As you can probably see, the ball flies on this thing, and in a difference from the production Bally ones, or the whatever they are, with plastic, this is still actually a wood playfield, but it's a couple layers thinner than a typical playfield, and then it's got, I don't know, quarter-inch or so plexiglass on top of it, and is routed to the playfield, almost like a playfield protector. So that is what it is. We just upgraded the flippers on it. This is on location if anybody wants to come and play it. It's at North End Pub in Lafayette, Indiana. It won't be here forever, but it'll be here for a little bit still, because it's cool to me that people are getting to see it. If you see this and compare it to production big game, layout is identical. Artwork is obviously drastically different. Reasons I believe this is the prototype is every piece of wiring in the game is still labeled with a meteor harness, which makes sense since that would have been in production before this. It was Stern's first wide body, so as they're prototyping things, they're not going to have a cabinet yet. So this cabinet's plain white. You can see it's never been painted. Has previous generation coin door in it. Or not no, it's just missing a button from what would be production for MPU 200. The playfield is drastically different, including different artwork, as well as 3 different colors of ink that are used on this playfield that did not make it into the production playfield. Another reason I think that it was done was to save money. The production playfield would have been cheaper to produce. And then also, if you guys are big game nerds or classic Stern nerds, you can hopefully see here where I'm pointing on the glass. These inlane ball guides on both sides are different than what we ended up seeing in the final production game, but there's like some early production games that had these in it. Sorry, my extra playfield light here is going out. I have a bad connection on there apparently. Trying to get it in. There we go. And, well, maybe not. And it also helps explain, for those of you who've owned big games, there's these wire ball guides on the slingshots, on this little mini orbit. This one here, where the metal ball guides don't go into the playfield. Instead, they like hover, they attach to the post, which never made sense to me until if you think about the fact that this was initially designed with a plastic playfield, and they couldn't just hammer ball guides into the playfield, which is what I think happened. Man, sorry, it's very annoying. Probably need to take that apart and resolder it, but I don't have my stuff with me. Or do I want to do that? I just want to play some pinball. Lights are flickering because I have not attached the cable to the new light board. Oh, man. Or used non-ghosting bulbs, so sorry about that. Hey, what's up, TurboGrafx? But, yeah. Elephant head down here instead of a tiger head, obviously different. And then we've got a alligator, or I guess what would appear to be a crocodile, and a monkey here. And then up top, you've got like a waterfall. That's kind of right below the pop bumper area, which I think explains all of the blue and the water on the playfield. So essentially they took it from like a rainforest jungle theme to eventually kind of like a Sahara dry plains jungle theme, and you just have your big cats and gazelles, etc. on it instead. It's interesting. When you look at it side by side with another big game, it really stands out as unique. It's playing awesome. I have to give credit to JDAWS2 on Pinside, John Dozier, or Inner Orbit Pinball. If you guys are on social media, he's a really good friend and operator out of Springfield, Missouri. He was kind enough to let me drop this off to him. He went through and chopped it all out, got it all working. All I really had to do was, and I didn't have to do it, but I just switched this over to WPC FlipperMex, as some people have been discussing in the Classic Stern thread on Pinside in recent months, simply for more reliability. And it's been really nice. I had brand new Classic Stern FlipperMex, the reproductions from Pinball Life in there, and I just kept having some issues. It's possible this playfield with its plastic is just like a tad bit thicker and it threw them off the measurements. But we were having seemingly sticky flippers and stuff, and it just shouldn't have been happening for a game that was completely shopped out and brand new mechs. So, it wasn't running any sort of prototype code when we got it. We checked the ROMs. It came out of a garage of a firefighter who lived in Chicago just over a year ago. I think it was last April when I picked this up originally. We took it to TPF this year, and it won the best early solid state or best 1970s solid state, something along those lines. And again, that is all thanks to John. I just basically got lucky enough to find it and talk to the guy and make a deal to get it picked up when it was for sale. I did kind of have an idea of what it was, and a lot of people didn't believe me, and then, at least, especially at Texas, after it was on the floor there and people got to see it up close and personal, they realized this wasn't like a home art package of someone just choosing to redo it, which is kind of weird, but some people had accused me of that. I promise I don't have the time to do that sort of thing. I know at one point I had talked to Fantastic Pinball out of Canada about potentially sending this out to get scanned. So if other people wanted to do a playfield swap with a prototype art package, it could be a possibility. I don't know if or when that'll ever come to fruition, because he seems to have plenty on his plate, and But honestly, now that it's all working, I don't really want to tear it down again and send it out. It does seem kind of unnecessarily risky. So we'll see. But as mentioned, it is on location, available to be played. It's actually still currently on free play right now. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. Hopefully, I've tried to have nice lighting and decent camera on here, but the artwork is essentially perfect because of the fact that the plastic's on top of it. And air conditioning just shut off in the bar here, so you can probably hear me a little bit easier now. We got a really strong air system in here, which is awesome because it is super hot out. Not sure how that'll impact our streaming, as we typically only stream in the winter when it's cold. I don't remember the exact differences, but we did notice some differences in the plastics. I think it was mostly colors. But there was some more differences there. And as much of a classic pinball guy as I am, I've never taken the time to really learn the rules of big game. Because to me it always played so chaotic that it was just very hard to figure out what I was doing anyway, and I was mostly just trying to keep the ball alive. I know you can complete the bingo cards, I know the slingshots change them. But to me, that just made it really hard to strategize. I know you're collecting letters, spelling big game. That'll light your extra ball. And I believe spinners are supposed to be very valuable, but maybe mine just aren't juiced enough. But at 2,000 a spin, I don't know. I guess a really good rep's getting 30 spins, 60,000 points. And I know somehow you can increase your bonus multiplier, and that's another way to play the game. But I just forgot to flip. If anyone has tips while I'm playing, feel free to share them. Yes, obviously as well, the back glass is a meteor back glass, and the head itself is actually a meteor head. I have no reason not to believe that that was what was used in the factory when they prototyped this. If somebody else Frankenstein this game together, I don't know, that'd be pretty odd to me, but you know, it's I can't say it's not a possibility. My assumption would be is everybody knows Stern just made a ton of meteors, so as they were prototyping the next game, it just made sense to grab a meteor head off the production line and snap it on there, and then you can figure out the rest later. Biggest difference besides just, you know, meteor art versus big game art is the fact that the layout for the displays is different, and that's the main reason that I haven't switched it over to a big game back glass. I think historical preservation of this to an extent is somewhat important, and I really wish I tried reaching out to some people at Stern, tried contacting, I think it was Doug Watson, the artist on this game, to see if he had any recollection of what this was. There's also a German import sticker on the apron, so we almost wonder if this was, the theory I had was potentially prototyped by one of the European playfield manufacturers, since there was multiple European manufacturers who did make plastic playfields on their games. So there's a lot of them, but most famously in my mind in the US, I think people are familiar with Dragon by Interflip, and that one being a plastic playfield. We do have extra ball lit because we've spelled big game already, so I might try and collect that. Extra balls are very valuable on this game. Oof. And I think it was the first Stern game with 7-digit scoring, so they have a lot of little 7-digit animations built into the track mode using the displays. Wow. I think I've only broken a million a couple times while playing the game so far. I mean, it is tough. I really enjoy this game for tournaments and league because of the short ball times. There are a couple lights on the play field that just have not worked. And I haven't really done any investigation. So I don't know if we just have a bad wire connection or if there's actual differences in the harness between the Meteor and the big game to where either they won't work or if they are just need to be switched which pin they go to, anything like that. I did try and see if it was just a bad ball. We replaced the bingo cards with 555 sockets and boards. Ooh, that stinks. Little air ball over the flipper. Also does not have production big game spinners on it. It has the generic Stern arrow ones, which, if I remember like details and Stern stuff, I think are actually slightly lighter than what would have been then used on big game. So they may not be as juicy as a typical production big game. If somebody has other classic Stern spinners and you want me to try them on here, I'd be more than happy to. I think I had an extra big game spinner at one point, but I'm pretty sure I gave it away or sold it with one of my other big games. I've owned big game I think 3-4 times now. We've actually got an early production Cheetah sitting right next to it to my left that has the blue cabinet. So if you are into classic Stern big cat games, we've got some cool ones here at North End. And next to that is a Stern Freefall, which you don't see very often either. Get in there. There we go. Getting destroyed on that one. What up, Casey? You need a hand? Oh, nice. I brought cupcakes, brownies, and chips for tonight.
Yeah, we don't have a mess with this till sometime next week.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what your Sunday looks like when I close, so it's like you want to come in Sunday night and probably run them back.
Cool.
But,
Sounds good. Seems like they've been getting played in here, actually.
yeah, I mean, you'll have that sometimes just being going out there.
Yeah.
I really think I'll put that stuff in the back. I think it's a really good turnout tonight.
I hope so. Some people I know are leaving time for the 4th, so
I feel like there's a good 25 or 30 people voted on.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I already dropped Conrad off for the weekend, so I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know about the pinball crew, but I know if people picking it tonight. I think it's going to be really good.
Nice.
Yeah, Sunday was just hard after that. Because what, we have 3 or 4 people, something like that, with a 3-strike
Yeah.
And we're just in the middle of the heart of summer.
Oh, it's every summer it's like that. I mean, I get it. The weather's nice in Indiana. You don't want to be inside.
Olivia's T-ball, the last 2 weeks, like it's over now. Dude, we had like 9 kids on our roster. We were having 3 kids gone every game.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, we did it too. I mean, we waited until the day that her last game went to Michigan. So how you been doing, Tommy?
Good, man. We got out of work a little early today. Brad let everyone off at noon, so I was already supposed to take my lunch then for Conrad had a doctor's appointment. And I just didn't have to go back, so ran to Sam's Club, grabbed that stuff, and then I figured I've been wanting to stream this. I might as well do it. someone had asked if you can still tap pass on the WPC flippers, and you absolutely can if you just are good at tap passing. I'm not, but it's possible physically. Big game spelled, so we can collect our extra ball if we can hit the left mini orbits. There we go. Extra ball collected. Good, because we airballed it over a flipper. I just realized the score camera's been frozen the whole time. Alright, let's try one with the score camera working. Obviously not that big of a deal, but... I'm gonna call that good for now. But I'll leave this camera set up tonight. We will have Pinball League much later, and we'll stream it then during League tonight. Get a few more people down here to play against each other. I think we can get. Yeah, looks like we can get all 4 scores in there. Close to it.